what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Dynamite Review Show on the Tricology News Talk. And oh boy, can y'all feel the winter coming? Because this Dynamite episode is another edition of Winter is Coming. And oh boy, was this a crazy good show, man. And but I'm not gonna be reviewing by myself. And as always, I got my partner in crime with me, Mr. Leland Benford. What's up, bro?
What is up, everybody? Winter is indeed coming, and we saw it snow last night on this wonderful episode of AEW Dynamite. Don't know what I mean by that, but it was a good segue. What's up, Trico? You ready for the holidays?
Oh yeah, for sure. And for the rest of the year, we had winter coming this week, and then next week we got the holiday bash, and then the following week we got New Year's Smash. We don't know if we're gonna be here for for those two events. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the holiday. I know that Christmas weekend is gonna be next weekend, but we'll see, and we'll let you know and see if anything comes up. But right now, this week, winter is coming, and before we get into the review today, in case y'all didn't know, if you follow us on the Respect the Combat podcast platform, this week was our last episode of 2022, and we won't be back until like January 13th, 2023. So what we did is we did our top 10 best athletes slash wrestlers, and also top 10 best matches. It doesn't matter if from any wrestling company or UFC company. I'm like, it doesn't matter. So if you want to hear my top 10, y'all can go to the Respect the Comment podcast, and that episode will be uploaded soon. But Leland, we didn't want to leave you out of the loop. So if you so kind to give us your top 10 best athlete wrestler of this year, along with your top 10 best matches of the year as well.
For sure, definitely. So I'll start with my top 10 athletes. All right. And because this is an AEW review show, my answers are going to be mostly all AEW guys. So starting off the list for me is Ethan Page. I think this guy, they're putting him in the spotlight more and more, and I think he has a big career ahead of him in AEW and even in WWE if they take him. But I think he's lining up to be this top guy. Number 9 would be Dante Martin. I think he had an incredible year. Did he get injured on Rampage? Was that official?
I don't think so.
Okay, good, because his brother just coming off a lot of injuries, and he's been the workhorse. But if you think about it, he has really been a great workhorse for AEW. He can go out there, put on, and people are going to love his matches. Number 8 is Daniel Garcia. This kid has a chip on his shoulder, and you can't teach that. How he's naturally just pissed off at people and naturally just want to hurt people. You can't beat it, man. And he's hella talented in the ring. Number 7, I'm going to give it to my guy, Dax Harwood. His single matches have just been incredible. Well, I'll talk about why I think so later when I go over my top 10 matches. But yeah, this guy is just an incredible hard-hitting brawler, old school wrestler, and he's fun to watch, and he brings that intensity in every ring. And his chops across the chest is like nobody's else. All right, number 6, I believe. Number 6, let me write this down so I won't get lost. Number 6 would be Danhausen. I know, right? He's not much of an athlete, but listen, these last couple of matches, this new darker Danhausen, he has been working and putting a lot of work in the ring. So because I see where he's going to go, that's why I kind of named him. And he brings so much to the product with his segments. I put him on there not necessarily just because of his athleticism, but because of everything that he brings to the AEW brand and with his segments. And like I said, lately his matches been a lot more intense and a lot more aggressive. So get off my back, Trico. Number 5, Claudio. I mean, this guy is just a freak of nature, period. And he's always fun to watch in the ring. And he's just, an incredible athlete. We've been seeing him do incredible things for years. So it's no surprise there. All right. So number 4, I'm going to say Bryan Danielson. This dude has, brought everything over with him. His matches are just so intense. This is a new version. This is something new for us to see him as. If we're used to seeing him in WWE, he's a lot more aggressive, and you can see he's taken out a lot of his aggression in that ring. And this might be one of those guys where it really is therapy for him to be in that ring. All right. So number 3, somebody that's always impressive, but is even more impressive when you can be this impressive for that long, is Jay Lethal. This year we've been able to see a lot more of Jay Lethal in the ring. We saw him last night on Dynamite, and I hope to see more and more and more of him. He can be champion in my book. Put the belt on him. I love to watch MJF versus Jay Lethal promos or anything, because he is a real professional. The most professional wrestler is Jay Lethal. All right, number 2 for me is going to be, and this is a tough one, because he just hasn't been doing a lot this year. You know what? I'm gonna call it audible. My number 2 is gonna be Swerve Strickland. Swerve has really took on this heel persona and making himself a part of the AEW brand. And I enjoy his matches. I enjoy his promos when he go out there. And he takes some pretty gnarly bumps. And you can see he's a real given worker. And I really like his style in the ring. Trico, guess what my number 1 is?
Who's your number 1?
Hook.
I'll take it.
There we go. Hook has so much to offer, bro, by doing the least amount of work. He is really the Orange Cassidy character for real. Because we'll talk about it later in the Dynamite review, but just his presence and just him coming out. He's a complete Gen Y, star. The least he do, the more people love it. So I said Gen Y, Gen Z star. So I'll put Hook on the list. Now, by the way, it's a lot of incredible athletes in AEW. Of course, the Young Bucks, of course, Keith Lee, of course, the Acclaimed, of course, everybody. But these are just the guys that I've been keeping my eye on lately. Honorable mention as well as Austin Gunn. But these are some of the guys I've been keeping my eye on more lately and seeing. Also, an honorable mention is like Buddy Matthews and like Brody King and Darby Allin. Like, it's so many great athletes in that company. But these are the guys I'm thinking may make a big impact in the next year coming up. All right, moving on to my top 10 matches. So number 1 on the list is the Acclaim versus Swerve and Our Glory 1. That match was fire. Everybody wanted Acclaim to win, and the place was going crazy. FTR versus the Briscoes, Death Before Dishonor. That was a hell of a banger. I still haven't watched the Dog Collar match. Trico has urged me to watch it, and I will. Just been very busy lately. FTR versus the Young Bucks for the AAA and ROH titles. That match was a complete banger. Next is Lionheart versus Bryan Danielson 1. I really like the Lionheart gimmick when Chris Jericho goes out there. You can tell in his moveset and his way of thinking as a wrestler, it really changes, and I really appreciate him putting on that much effort to make these characters feel much different. If you think about it, Jericho can do the Foley thing if they had like a battle royale where Jericho can get thrown out, they come back as Lionheart, and then come back as the Painmaker, and then come back as Y2J, whatever the hell. But he is starting to have that many different type of gimmicks or characters that he can be. So after that, what number is that? That was 10, 9, 8, 7. Number 6 is Dax Harwood versus Jay Lethal. This is a match I said you could put in front on, you can put on for anybody, and they'll be entertained and enjoy the combat that these guys went through in that ring. Number 5 is the United Empire versus Death Triangle. Again, another match you can put on for anybody, and they'll enjoy the physicality and the athleticism that existed in that match. Number 6, no, I'm sorry, going backwards. Number 4, the dog collar match versus with CM Punk versus MJF. Bloody match, gruesome. Again, one of these matches you may not want to put on for anybody, but for that one cousin that's kind of twisted, he might like this match. Number 3, Daniel Garcia versus Willer Yuta at Death Before Dishonor. These two young guys just freaking ripped up the show, ripped up the mat, and it's always fun seeing them together. And I really enjoyed the build up to these guys. I've really enjoyed the promos and everything they did to build this match up. Number 2 was Blood and Guts. I really enjoyed this year's Blood and Guts in front of the new Blackpool Combat Club versus JAS. This is when that rivalry was still interesting. I thought that would be the last time we would see them fight, but also I like the extra element of Eddie Kingston involved with these two factions, and the tension at the time of will Eddie fight alongside Claudio, because we knew there was heat between them the whole time. All right. So I'm going to be a little controversial here of my number 1 pick, because my number 1 pick it is not an AEW promotion show. All right. But it did involve contracted AEW wrestlers. And my number 1 pick for the match of the year 2022 is Ric Flair's final match. Woo!
Can you say that again?
Woo! Ric Flair's final match of the year. Put some respect on the legend's name. None of us would do that at 77. You got a grandfather at 77, you think you can wrestle a match? He can't. And Ric Flair couldn't either. But he ain't not try at least, god dang it. So, and you know why I put that on as the match of the year? Because everything about that match, the build up, the promotion, all the videos, all the vignettes really had me believing that Ric Flair was about to get in there and do some stuff. And he got in there and do a damn thing. And that tricked me. And that's what wrestling is about. So I give that match of the year.
Oh, Lord. That's even worse when freaking Eric picked the freaking best friends and the factory as his number 1. Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Listen, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and Andrade really made that match something. All right. And it was a spectacle, and it was a moment in history. Put some respect on it.
Oh my goodness. So, and now that we got that out of the way, so let's get into this review on Winter is Coming. Now,
right.
Have you ever happened to catch the opening sound where they did the pyro? Because they purchased the Round Ball Rock, which was the former NBA on NBC theme that they got. You ever catch that sound?
Yeah. I wonder if they even had to purchase it, since it's like NBA is on TBS. I wonder if that came along just like with purchasing, like with the rights of the NBA.
Well,
that was interesting, right? That was kind of interesting.
Well, TBS and TNT are kind of in the same umbrella and all that other stuff. So
right. It's all the same. So I wonder if that just came along with the NBA, but I'm pretty sure they had to pay some money, period, to be able to play it, just to have the rights to it. But yeah, it kind of made AEW feel a little like different at the top of it. But I know they're doing it just for the tournament between Death Triangle and the Elite.
Yeah, they did. They try to make the best of 7 series like it was the NBA Finals. NBA Finals.
I know, it was kind of weird seeing AEW with like such like corporate music playing. It made it feel like, I don't know. But yeah, that was it. That's fun though. That's always like the Elite doing their kind of creative, fun stuff.
I mean, I like it to make it more creative and also hyping up the best of 7 series, which was the opener of the show, which is match 4 of the series. So this was another excellent match. It told a lot of different stories, featuring with Nick injuring his ankle, the shape that Kenny's in, the talks about Kenny ever since we're returning, uh, and Death Triangle relying on the hammer, and I like the potential match that they have planned for match 5, which we'll get into that a little later. But as Nick was trying to go wild with the lariats and with a mid-air cutter with a spring on Phoenix, Pac took the ref as Nick went for the super kick. Phoenix blocked and Penta smashed the ankle with the hammer, and Phoenix sat into an inverted knee bar while Pat looked up Omega from breaking up the submission at Nick was tapping out. So there you have it. Death Triangle is now currently 3-1 over the Elite right now. So after the match, Omega took the mic and said a 3-1 difficulty is a lot to come back from. But since Death Triangle likes to use the hammer, how about match 5? We make all weapons legal. They want the next match to be no DQ. So what are your thoughts on match 5 being DQ and the rest of the series if they tie it up having more stipulations to it?
I mean, yeah, why not make it no DQ, you know? So this way they can stop cheating. That'd be nice. You know, and winning with the hammer every time. So how about this? Just make everything legal. I did like how they made it seem like this was an unplanned promo and that he wasn't scheduled and just coming up with it on the fly. I did like that aspect of it. It made it feel like it was unplanned. I will say the match itself was great. The match itself, like the crowd in Texas has been just incredible. Last week with Austin and then this week in Garland, I think the crowds have just been really on board with AEW brand there. And that the crowd participation always makes it so much better. It makes it so much more exciting. So this match was really good. The music build up to it was really good. And then when it started and it ended that way, they're like, here we go with the hammer. They're going to just, keep doing the same thing. So now, most likely what's going to happen is that the Elite is going to win the next 2 in a row. And they can tie it up. And then they go for that last one, So and that last one is going to be a banger. And we'll see who wins. And most likely the Elite, because it seemed like they're shaping Death Triangle to be a heel faction now. They got at least Pac and Penta is on the same page, but you still have Ray on the outside.
Yeah, and with match 5 being no DQ, if they go to match 6 for which is a New Year's match, the next week's match 5 is going to be the Holiday Bash, no DQ, and if they go match 6, which is a New Year's Smash, that will be Falls Count Anywhere. And if it's tied up, if they go to match 7, which is the Dynamite that's going to be in Los Angeles, will be a ladder match.
Gotcha. That ladder match, I know they said they didn't want to do another what they call their ladder match, the Death Burst or something like that match. But I think it's going to definitely be a good match. It's definitely going to be a banger. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to that ladder match. I'm ready to see them win the next couple and then go from there.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And so backstage with Alex Morez, he's with MJF, who said last week was a star-making performance by Ricky Starks. While the first Dynamite, MJF was already a star. It took Starks this long to do it. And at 26 years old, MJF is a star maker. MJF ran down Starks and the fans as he grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. MJF isn't under any pressure tonight. He already has it all. While Starks has everything to let down. He's going to turn the pebble into dust.
Good promo. It seemed like MJF really wanted to take some time to scream at him.
Yeah, and try to get that very good heel promo there because yeah, you guys already know if y'all saw Dynamite last week, Ricky Starks actually killed MJF with his promo, so he gonna have to try to say something
Yeah, he
to
met
get
his
back.
match last week. I think that's why they ain't have him in the same ring today until it was time to fight. Because this way, each guy get a chance to talk and say what they got to say.
Yeah, and that was for to hype up the main event. So back into the arena, the Acclaim was on their way to the ring with Matt Caster cutting the rap about Brittany Griner and Eli Musk reference until they were all attacked by Jay Lethal, Sajay Dunn, Jeff Jarrett, and Satnam Singh. Caster tried to fight back, but he was laid out by Jarrett's guitar shot, and Jarrett said, "Scissor this, slap nuts." I'm like, okay, listen. I know we always have like the legends mentoring the young bucks, and even though Jeff Jarrett is definitely a good manager for Jay Lethal because of that history, but I don't like this road where it's going. I feel like they're gonna do the Acclaim versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Like, I got nothing against Jay Lethal. I wanted them to see win championships, but like Jeff Jarrett, come on now. Like, you ain't got no other tag teams to go against the Acclaim.
Yeah, I remember I said the only time I wanted to see Jeff Jarrett in a rivalry with anybody if it was with Sting. I did not want to see him with anybody else in the roster. So here we go, putting Jeff Jarrett in with the Acclaim, the hottest team in AEW. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I'm not agreeing with that. I don't like to see it. It smells too much like TNA. Um, it's just. Ugh. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe now the only benefit, and I was thinking this to myself when I was watching this, with Max Caster on the floor, face down on the floor with the freaking guitar around his neck. I was saying the only benefit here is that Max Caster will have a lot of good jokes for Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal and Sanu Gupta and everybody, So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Max Caster clowning the hell out of these guys on his reps. So, but I'm not looking forward to the matches they're gonna have.
I can't wait to hear that rap. But until then, Tony Schiavone was backstage with the JSS with Jericho representing Claudio Castagnoli as a flash in the pan, like Joe Exotic or Ricky Stars. He said the swing should be banned. It was barbaric. I'm like, you the one that tapped out to the freaking swing. You the one that tapped out to the swing. Jesus Christ. How can you tap out of a swing? Isn't that even a real submission?
He
Jesus
got
Christ.
he got dizzy. He said I went off this ride.
Jesus.
Maybe he was gonna throw up or something, you don't know. You know?
Wow. But anyway, he said that tonight he will take his frustrations out on his tune-up match before getting his ROH title rematch. Jericho also said Jerry Garcia should have never lost a pure title, so he needs to shadow his elder Sammy Guevara on Rampage, which Guevara was not pleased. So I feel like they're going back to with Danny Garcia trying to be a bit. I think he's going to be a full-blown babyface again, but this time having him turn on Sammy Guevara and having a rivalry with him.
I hear you. It seemed like there was some tension between Daniel Garcia um and Sammy Guevara with that accountability buddy. And they did that before with Wardlow and my man Sean Spears, the accountability buddy. And here we go again with the same kind of Billy Buddy. So yeah, I think it looked like there might be a match between Garcia and Guevara coming up here eventually down the road.
Yeah, after I saw like you at the shadow Sammy Guevara, I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. So we
Yep.
just had to wait and see what's gonna happen till then. And so after that, we got one of the new of the RA six-man champions, Brian Cage, with Prince Nana against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And Jungle Boy defeated Brian Cage with a roll up. So this was a very solid matchup with Perry feeding off another giant on his request to another giant. So they're making Jungle Boy as a giant killer in this one. So and the reason why is that Perry said at Full Gear he beat Luchasaurus, and tonight he beat Brian Cage. So he calls out the biggest bitch of them all, and he calls out Big Bill. And I was like, who the hell is Big Bill? And then I was like, oh, I see what he's talking about. So he called out W. Morrissey, which he is now Big Bill. I'm like, wait a minute. You went from Colin Cassidy to Big Cass to W. Morrissey, and now Big Bill? I know your first government name is Will, but I'm like, Big Bill? Big Bill? I'm like, oh my God. But
Yeah, I didn't know who the hell they was talking about. I'm like, who the hell is Big Bill? And then I
I
was like,
know, right? And then
there they go.
I know. And then like Stokey Hathaway come out, he started cutting a promo like he was the Godfather, said that Perry consistently pissed him off, run him down, and Perry goes after him until Lee Moriarty and Big Bill showed up and beat down Perry down until we heard that music of Hook walk down to the ring and the firm bail out and Hook help Perry up. So you see, Jungle Boy has some backup in the cold hearted handsome devil. So I can see a tag team match with probably Jungle Boy and Hook versus maybe Big Bill and Lee Moriarty or maybe Eat the Page. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I know they're in a rivalry with the firm, so we'll see how's that gonna go.
Facts. Yeah, man, I am looking forward to seeing what Hook is gonna do and seeing Hook more on Dynamite, you know. I don't know if they're just grooming him more, getting him more comfortable in the ring, or why he's not already kind of being out there more. But, you know, I'm sure they know what they're doing with him. So we'll see what happens. They put him with Jack Perry. Maybe so you know how Jungle Jack had to go through training with Christian Cage. Maybe now Jungle Boy will help Hook like Christian Cage helped Hook.
Because you know Hook is a big star attraction. He don't get paid by the hour.
But I mean, he needs work on his, you know, on his promo skills, you know. I mean, I think there's something that Taz can't help him out with too much because Taz wasn't known for his promos. I mean, I know he's a commentator now, but Taz was never known for his promos, and I remember his promos during the pandemic era. I would want them to stop quickly. So because of that, you know, maybe this is why they hooking them all up so he can learn.
Yep. But we'll see. I always say that about Hook needs a mouthpiece, but we'll see what happens there. But moving on, the Blackpool Combat Club cut a promo backstage with Moxley recapping their last week with Castagnoli winning the RH World title and Yuta winning the Pure title and Moxley choking out to Testa on Rampage. Koyo said they'll show up everywhere. Yuta said if anyone wants a shot, they can have it. Moxley said he will stomp Sammy Guevara's face into a bloody match on Rampage. And if you didn't saw the earlier promo with the JSS, Sammy Guevara called out Moxley for a match on Rampage. So this shows that Moxley accepted the challenge. And Moxley's told Hangman Adam Page says he know where to find him and told him to bring his Dark Order buddies if he want. Yeah. So first off, I thought we was done with the Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation. I thought we was done with that. And now that y'all running it back again with Moxley and Sammy Guevara, yeah, like, what is going on? What is going on?
Yeah, like even when Sammy Guevara said that, like with the JAS, he was like, I was like, come on, man. He's like, even though it's done, I'm still not done with John Moxley. I'm like, just be done. I don't want to see anybody from that organization fight anybody from that organization. We need new matchups. Why do you guys want to keep fighting each other? No one is asking you to do that. So we'll see where this goes.
Oh my goodness. So but I do see a Blackpool Combat Club versus Adam Page and the rest of the Dark Order, which is John Silver and yeah, actually I see that down the line when Moxley said, "Oh, bring your Dark Order brothers if you want." So I see that down the line. But we got a video package from Swerve Strickland showing his actions from Final Battle. He said next week that he and Keith Lee will have their face off on Dynamite. So if you don't see their match at Final Battle with Shane Taylor Promotions, so remember when Keith Lee walked out on Swerve Strickland in the final match between Swerve and Glory and the Acclaim. So this time Swerve walked out on Keith Lee, but at least Keith Lee won the match. This is how Swerve lost to the Acclaim in their third match with the Acclaim.
Mm. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
So after that, we got the House of Black returning, and then they went. It was a trios match. They went on one with Aaron Solo, Cole Carter, and Nick Calamaro of the Factory. So
it didn't last long.
Yep, it did not last long, and even the commentary team told QT Marshall, like, boy, run. You should run. But instead, he got nailed.
Yeah, he got nailed pretty good. This match was not last. I think the most we could talk about this match is the new intro from these guys. That's like the most we can talk about, because that's the most exciting thing that happened. I mean, it was just a beatdown in the longer run. So, but fun match. These guys look incredible. They look like they're ready to fight. They look like they're in great shape. They look like they're coming for some trio belts. I can tell you that much. And most likely they are. Most likely they will get those trio belts. So, yeah, because they look like they can get it. So I really feel bad for whoever keeps those trio belts, because you have a team that's ready to really do some damage coming up soon. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've been saying that as well. Like, whoever wins the best out of 7 is just going to get feed to the House of Black.
Yep. And Matthews looks incredible. Brody looks incredible. I mean, these guys are just really on top of their game. And I think they're ready for some kind of gold around their waist. The new interest looks nice. I don't care for when they like black out so they can get in the ring and then black out so they can get in their other position. I think it's just too much. I think they should not even do the blackout. Just walk to the ring, bro. Put up some like smoke, some fog, some stuff like that, and figure out how to do the whole Kane thing where fire comes out of the ring post or something like that. Or I don't know, but I think they should definitely have something more fire related. Last night they looked like little devils with the mask, and there should be some fire behind that, not just the red lighting. but make it feel like they're in hell. Put up some smog, and it should look like it's 1,000 degrees when they come out that damn backstage. That's the direction I would go for them, and take out the whole blackout thing. I think it's not entertaining for most of us at home who just to see a black screen. It may be more exciting for the live crowd, but just at home, it's like, okay, what am I looking at here? Oh, it went black again. Okay, let's get it back going. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. But those guys, those wrestlers, and Julia looks. She had her Wednesday Addams vibe going last night. So you know, Goth is in right now, and I think these guys are going to be at a good opportunity to take advantage of that. And yeah, it's a great gimmick. I mean, I don't even think it's a gimmick. I think these guys really live like that. That's the other thing. I think Brody King and Malachi, I think they really live like this. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, and then with Julia Hart having a Undertaker vibe, so that was pretty good. And QT Marshall, man, it was just not your day. You needed a miracle, that Christmas miracle, it did not come. So you had a I know people want a white Christmas, but QT, you had a black Christmas, and we all know how black Christmas go. It ain't no singing song dance. It's just straight up horror. If you get my reference, if y'all seen Black Christmas, the Black Christmas movie, now y'all know. So, so Jamie Hayter and Carl Sheeter had a video package hyping up their AEW Women's World Title match. That's gonna happen next week on Dynamite, the Holiday Bash. So and then after that, Renee Paquette was backstage with Britt Baker and Rebel. As Baker said, it's not going to be a big thing for Hayter to beat Sheeta. And then Baker will beat her with a broken nose. And then Sky Blue interrupt and challenge Britt for a match of Rampage. Baker was insulted, but still accept the match.
Gotcha. Yo, Britt Baker was incredible. I love her promos, man. I'm really a fan of her. She also has really good fashion sense. My wife was like in the back watching, and then when she came out, she's like, "Oh my god, look at her jeans, look at her shirt, look at this, look at that." How do you think about Sky Blue kind of coming out doing some promo work?
Hey, more Sky Blue on my TV, man. More Sky Blue on my TV.
Are you a fan of Sky Blue?
Yeah, everyone's a fan of Sky Blue. You should know why. You should know why.
Yeah. And I'm glad that they're helping her. Like, you can see the work that Madison Rain is doing. She has some little stank to her, promo last night. So I think it is helping. It really is helping her. So I hope they keep it up.
Yeah, but I think we still have all the question is who's going to be Sharaya's partner on the June 11th edition of Dynamite in Los Angeles. So I mentioned before it could be AJ Lee, but I have my other options. I say it could be Sasha Banks, who is now currently going under the ring name as Mercedes Monet. So that could be one. So
Yep. It definitely could be. Like, well, who is going to be? We'll see.
And we got Chris Jericho versus a new kid on the block, Action on Andretti. So wow. Listen. Ever since Sting made his AEW debut at the very first Winter is Coming, we've been seeing a lot of surprises with on each episode Winter is Coming. And this one here is the most shocking of them all. And let me break it down for you guys. Listen, in the match, during the match, the fans was chanting, "Let's go, Jobber! Let's go, Jobber!" I mean, this is literally the first time that the fans ever chanted for a jobber that they don't know. I'm like,
isn't this great?
Because mostly when you see like jobbers, they don't last for about 2 minutes. This one lasts how long this went for? Like more than 5 minutes?
Went through a commercial break.
Yeah. I'm like, wow. I'm like, who is this kid? I'm like, how is he going?
He said, "Action Andretti, holla at me."
To be fair, to be fair, Chris Jericho, despite whether he's a heel or a babyface, like he's not the most selfish person at all. Like he'll pull over like anyone. If you don't believe me, watch this match with Fandango at WrestleMania 29. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, in the final moments of the match, Andretti went for another springboard, but Jericho teased the walls of Jericho. He got the roll up. Andretti tried a tentable into a DDT and got a running, standing, shooting star press to pin Chris Jericho clean, and the crowd exploded as Andretti leaped into the crowd, where Jericho couldn't believe what just happened. Like, oh my God. Like, Jericho said he wanted a tune-up match, and it just blew up in his face. Like, this was a lot of fun. And Andrade was up more to the task tonight. He really showed out. This really reminds me of back in the old days with Razor Ramon, was formerly known as Sky Hart, rest in peace. When he went against the Lightning Kid, who was formerly as the 1-2-3 kid, who was known as X-Pac. So I saw Jericho is Razor Ramon, and Andrade was the Lightning Kid, and I was like, oh my God. So I have my stories on this, but before I say my stories, let me know, what are your thoughts on this? Like, how surprised were you?
I was jumping out of my seat watching Action Andrade come out here and take it to Chris Jericho, because you thought at any moment he was about to just be like, yeah, that's it, or hit him with the Judas effect or whatever. But the crowd is what made this to be so incredible. That was all the crowd. The crowd really got behind him, and it became a really fun segment to watch and root for the underdog. And just because you know that it will drive Chris Jericho mad, to know that he lost to this kid, and this kid has one up on Chris Jericho. What the hell? That was just great. It was just really great, and it was just such a change of pace. We're like, oh, this kid is gonna win, and they picked the perfect kid because he looks like a baby face off the bat. The moment he's in the ring, he looks like a baby face. So yeah, this was just really, really incredible, and I'm really surprised that Chris Jericho let it happen. And yeah, it is what it is. But boy, was that a feel good moment. That was a really good feel good wrestling moment.
Yeah, I was like, give this kid a contract right now. Put it on the board, say Action Andrade is all elite. But I got my stories here because during backstage, Chris Jericho did a temper tantrum after his loss. So this is where I feel they might go with this. I think Jericho might go on a losing streak after he lost the ROH title. So I think that's what could happen. So that's why I'm thinking they might lead into.
Yeah, it definitely could happen. I think I think this Action Andrade kid may be a way for them to get out of this Blackpool Combat Club rivalry. Maybe he's gonna want to send Sammy Guevara after Action Andrade now, and then Garcia after Action, just to make him pay for beating the Ocho. Also, I think a little new wrestling tradition started last night in Texas. Now every time you get to 8, you scream out Ocho. Just like how every time you get a chop to the chest, you do the woo. So this may be a new wrestling tradition. If the next crowd next week does it, then it's a chance that it's going to be a new wrestling tradition for fans to say Ocho on the 8.
Yep, that is a new thing, and you got to give it to the Texas crowd. They are the one of the best wrestling fans in the world. So after that, Ricky Starks was backstage. He says he woke up this morning knowing tonight will be his night. It's been long for him in AEW, not knowing he was going to make it to this moment. After suffering a broken neck, MJF is all about ratings. No one cares. Starks has a lot to riding on tonight, where he becomes the new AEW World Champion. So after his promo, they show another clip backstage where Ricky Starks were warming up. MJF was getting a massage while he was looking on his phone.
I really appreciate that right now, seriously.
Yeah. This is a great way to say, let's look at the difference between these two guys, you know?
Exactly. So that was their way to hype up the main event again. But we got a recap of the incredible double dark collar match between FTR and the Briscoes. And FTR brought out the Gun Club, who was despite for their attentions with daddy issues, they have nothing FTR wants. But if building a legacy means going through them, then so be it.
Yo, I gotta go watch that match, man.
Yeah,
today.
Yeah, you definitely gotta watch that match. You definitely gotta watch it.
I'm gonna watch it today.
Yeah. And then we got the ladies with Ruby Soho versus Ty Mello here. So let me see. So yeah, in the final moments of the match, and so Solo blocked the take KO, got a knee in the face, planted Mello with with Destination Unknown for the win. And then after the match, Anna Jay immediately attacked Soul post match from behind, and then lay out with the gory bomb, and then her and Ty Mello was standing tall. But overall, these two really laid in some strikes with each other. So it's good to see Ruby Soho get a win back in a return. Yep. But I do feel that
fighting. It was a little hard hitting match they had.
Yeah, exactly. But I know they're gonna set up Ruby Soho versus Anna JS, but Ruby Soho needs backup. She's gonna need some backup.
Who was her allies before? She had some people. Athena is now a heel, so that's out of there.
All of her former friends are in WWE right now, who was formerly known as the Riot Squad.
No, she had some people that she was teaming up with when she first got here, first got to AEW. She had a couple of people, but I think one of them was Athena, but Athena's heel now, so that won't work.
Yeah, and I think Thunder Rosa too. I don't know.
Yeah, oh yeah, Thunder Rosa's out. So
yeah, but other than that, backstage with Alex Morez again as he tries to talk to Heyman Page, who's being checked by the doctor with Evil Noodle on his side. And Page said the update was when he was unconscious for 60 minutes last month, he came to and learned that he had 100 text messages. When he unlocked his phone, saw his son's photo, he couldn't remember his first name at first. Page said if Moxley wants to send him to hell, then he's going to take Moxley with him. So I know I think they're going to push this this rivalry to Revolution, and then you're probably going to have like a stipulation match between those two.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be something just like that. I'm looking forward to that match, though, man. Those guys really, I think they got good chemistry in the ring, and I feel like their style is kind of similar. Like they're not the only flip that Hangman. Well, no, he does a moonsault out there too. So I mean, he does some high flying stuff a little bit more than Moxley, but it's not like on the same lines of like Young Bucks or Ray Phoenix. His high flying is like just two or three moves. But I think that adds a good, like, if I was playing the AEW video game, I think a fun match would be Adam Page versus Jon Moxley, because they both are like just brawlers and kind of hard hitters.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and we'll see if Heyman Adam Page will show up on Rampage when Jon Moxley takes on Sammy Guevara. Dr. Britt Baker versus Sky Blue. Warlow will be in action, and then you have 4-on-4 tag team match with the All Atlantic champion Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Trip Barrera of the Best Friends. And Dustin Rhodes takes on the Butcher and the Blade, Kid Sabian, and the newest AEW member, Trent Seven, who used to be on NXT UK. So yeah, that's your lineup for this Friday's Rampage. And then next week's AEW Dynamite, aka the Holiday Bash, you got FTR versus the Gun Club. Jamie here defends the AEW World Title, the AEW Women's World Title against Hikaru Shida. And then you got the match 5 of the Best of 7 series with Death Triangle versus the Elite with no disqualifications.
Wow. A lot of stuff happening.
And now, the main event. Winner take all. The Dynamite Diamond Ring and the AEW World Championship. MJF versus Ricky Starks. So, this was a solid main event with the crowd highly behind Ricky Starks. But was there any other way that MJF was going to win this besides cheating?
I don't think so, to be honest. And it's sad that it came to this, but we all kind of it protects Ricky Starks at the same time, though. But yeah, I don't think we think that he was going to try to out of nowhere freaking have a regular match and have a good match, So it had to be something he was going to do that was going to be a little shady, and there we go. That was the shady part.
Yeah, we don't need like heels cheating to win all the time. That makes them look weak. Like that's just stupid. Like MJF's too good for that.
I mean, but he is a heel, though. He is a heel. So shoot. Even at the same point in time.
Yeah, I even got a person say, "Oh, I wish the ref could have saw the low blow." Say like, "Oh, MJF could have kept the AEW World Title, but lose the Dynamite Diamond Ring to Ricky Starks."
Oh, that'd have been interesting. That's what I was saying. Like the moment they put the belt in the ring together, I knew it was a wrap. I was like, "Oh, Ricky not gonna win. They're not gonna do that." So I knew it was a wrap the moment that happened.
Yeah, but like you said, this does keep the Ricky Starks good. But if they do decide to go this match again in the near future, where does Ricky Starks go from here? Is he going to go face Samoa Joe for the TNT title?
Yeah, I think he keeps going for the belt. I think they're in Texas again next week. I think he's gonna have that run until I don't know when, but we'll see, man. I think Ricky still got to stay in that title picture, though. I don't want to see him go back down. But they can always have somebody come mess with him that could take his distraction, take his focus off MJF for a second. And also, this is funny because this is like the MJF is his most successful, he's his most successful as ever been at this moment, but damn is he lonely. Like who else does he have around helping him now? So if Ricky Starks did get more friends, MJF is in a predicament because he doesn't have anybody for the first time. For the first time in his AEW career, he is solo dolo. I mean, he had the Pinnacle, he had Wardlow, he had Shawn Spears, and now he had William Regal. And now nobody. He's his most successful, but he's his most lonely. That's poetic. So, but yeah, this is a great episode of Winter is Coming. I'm always excited when these winter coming things happen because they always do some newsworthy stuff. Best moment of the night: Action Andretti beating Chris Jericho. Let's go, Jobber. Beats Chris Jericho for his AEW debut and has a win over the Ocho. How could that be? But that was the best moment of the night. Second best moment of the night, using the NBA music and for the tournament and the Death Triangle match. Getting to hear Kenny Omega do his catchphrase. Also a really good moment of the night. What did you think about this episode?
I think this was a pretty good Winter is Coming episode. So let's see if the other two special episodes for the next 2 weeks gonna live up to the hype as Winter is Coming. But before we wrap up the review, after the match, MJF went out to the ramp and tried to leave, but Bryan Danielson's music hit and the chase was on, and MJF scurried to the crowd. He almost hurt himself when he tried to push through the barricade, and then Danielson was staring a hold at him, and then Danielson starts up, and he held his hand up in the air, and that's where the show went off the air. So I do believe that they're gonna move with MJF versus Bryan Danielson, and I think the match is gonna happen at Revolution to kind of build up the storyline. Like after William Regal, even though he's not with the company no more, he's going back to WWE. But they are gonna sell this rivalry match under William Regal because we haven't really heard like we saw the actions of Bryan Danielson how he felt because William was close to him and all this stuff, but hopefully we get to hear his side of the story, why William was so close to him and why he wanted to get his revenge on MJF.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely agree. But yeah, this was a really good episode. Looking forward to see how they finish the year out. This year for AEW was very interesting, man. They had a lot of ups and they had a lot of downs. To be honest, they had a lot of things they thought was going to go this way, and it did not go that way at all. They planned for things to really happen for them with a certain person, and none of that came to fruition. And actually made some things worse. So interesting year for AEW. I think I'm excited for the next year. Who would have thought in the beginning of the year we would have been going into the year with MJF as our champion. So interesting year for AEW nonetheless.
Yeah, and 2023 and all the way up to 2024. It's going to be very interesting. As I said before, the Reign of Terror is on the air. And I know MJ is going to get a lot of fantastic opponents during his title run. So, yeah, it all comes when his contract is over in 2024. And they start to do the bidding war. And we'll see where it goes from there. But other than that, great Winter is Coming episode. A lot of surprises there. A lot of build-ups leading into the next couple of weeks. So yeah, this is gonna be it's gonna be very interesting, folks. And like I said before, we might do another episode next week. Depends on because I know next week it's gonna be.
We can't. I will be traveling next Thursday. I will be going to Bermuda with my wife and her family for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, okay, for sure. Well, you heard it, folks. This is gonna be our last episode for 2022. We will be back in 2023, right after the new year, and we'll see you guys then. But until then. Anything else you want to plug in before we wrap up this episode for the rest of 2022?
Listen, man, I don't know who listens to our show all the way to this point, but if you are listening to this show at this moment and that you've been listening to some of our episodes in the past, I would like to say thank you. Thank you. And thank you. And I hope you and your family have a very enjoyable holiday season. And we will be back in 2023. And I'm hoping for some really big things to pop off in 2023. We have Empathy coming out. I'm shooting a pilot for something called From Yard. We have all these things coming out that we're going to be doing. And I really look forward to you guys seeing all these things and being a part of it. So hope you guys have a great, great holiday season. And we will be back.
All right. And until then, he's Leland and Trico. And we'll see y'all in 2023. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.